Greetings and welcome back to another edition of Caring About Seniors. I am your host, Adrienne Houghton. Now, each week we sit down with Oasis Senior Advisors Jacksonville and we discuss all aspects of senior living. Joining us today from Oasis is Bagocius, and we're delighted to welcome into the studio Ship Harmon from the Peace of Mind Vault. Welcome, Shep.
Thank you, Adrienne.
Good to see you again, Al.
You too.
So before we say anything else, tell me what the Peace of Mind Vault is so that we can move forward.
Well, I'd love to. May it take about a minute for backstory.
Okay.
Because it's relevant. I retired after 30 years in the investment world. My wife and I were living downtown St. Augustine. Life was fun. Life was good. Hurricane Matthew came and really hurt us badly. A lot of damage. 7 days later, I'm in the Mayo Clinic and I'm having serious cancer surgery. In my recovery, I realized if something had happened to me when my wife and family had all this disruption from the hurricane and so much of our paperwork and our personal stuff was lost, if it's something I hadn't recovered, it would have left a mess. So I vowed that in my recovery, I would begin to restructure and reorganize our lives. And I had wills, trusts, all that sort of stuff. I mean, you know, in the investment world, 30 years, you kind of figure out what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
But so much was left undone. And so I wound up creating this concept of putting everything online into a private vault, which didn't exist when I retired. And I did it for my family first and then for a couple of friends and neighbors. And I tested it. And a few years ago, I said, this really is a business. And this business serves seniors, it serves families, it serves everybody. So it took a long time, but we adapted the highest level technology. We took a business platform that is used by millions of users in business. We adapted it for people. We created private vaults with complete security, and that's how we got started.
I mean, there's a lot that's involved in people feeling comfortable with placing all their information into an online source.
Correct.
How do you get over the worry about being hacked, being stolen? Because even banks have problems.
Oh, absolutely,
like that.
they do.
Yeah.
And there's actually two levels to the question. And the first level is you kind of do a little history. And you go back 15 years when the cloud first appeared, and every major business in the United States and the world basically said, I'm not putting my business information out in the cloud. But everybody did. Why? Because they trusted the security and they got to understand it and they realized it's better for everybody. Now, when it comes to people, when it comes to getting your data hacked, I mean, my wife's data was hacked out of the IRS. It can happen anywhere. Well, how do these things happen? It's because almost every enterprise, whether it's a bank, whether it's the government, they take all of the individual's people and they put it into one big vault, let's say. And all you need is to have one person's password who's an admin stolen, and they can backdoor their way into that vault and steal all that information. Wow. In our case, each customer has their own private vault, their own private cloud, actually. And there are multiple levels of security. The only way somebody can get into your personal cloud is as if they get your personal password. They can't hack their way in. Nobody else can hack their way in through the back door. Nobody in our company can get this information because we can't access your data. So you have multiple levels. Not only do you have passwords and usernames and a private cloud address, you even have two-factor authorization. We have multiple levels of heavy encrypted data, and that's why you can have protection. And boy, once you've started to experience it, you'll know. You realize this is really strong. Yeah.
So it's like going into a bank and saying, I'd like to access my lockbox that's downstairs and hidden behind, and down you go, and there's all your precious
It's exactly
documents.
what it is, Adrienne. Yes, it's exactly what it is. And but with one exception, it's not a physical location that's limited access. It's 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, anywhere in the globe that you have web access, whether it's a mobile device or a laptop or a desktop.
So whenever you're nervous and you just want to check it's all still there and everything is safe, you can.
You can, and not only everything, videos and photos. And I liken it to the idea of the, let's say that you have Apple systems, you have Google systems, and they have their own place where you can put your data. But what you get from them is you get from them an empty warehouse. What you get from us is a structured vault that we already have over 200 separate lock boxes identified so you know where to put your material, and we provide you the information and the security to learn how to do it, all at one very tiny price.
Al, you must have met a lot of people who need this desperately, or would need it when they're changing from perhaps their own home to a residential living.
I got a personal story to share with you. I have a cousin who has had illnesses and moved from Connecticut to Jacksonville. Unfortunately, he had a lot of missteps in terms of his will and all his other information, and he died on the operating table at Mayo Clinic and left all this information open. So if somebody, and most of us are tech savvy, most of my seniors are tech savvy, there's no reason why they can't do this. I can't tell you how many friend requests I get from people who are dead on Facebook.
Yeah, right.
Their identity gets stolen, and that gets circulated around, and it's a heartbreaker for families.
Yeah.
It's as if you go to a funeral, somebody knows your address, and you come home, and everything is gone. And that's the value that Shep brings to this community and the entire community. And I want to throw up something, not to be funny, but to be realistic. And this is a sign that says "Old Guys Rule," and there's three letters I want you to think of. KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Colonel Sanders didn't start his company until he was 65 years old.
Okay. I see where this is going.
Shep
Okay.
is
75. Okay, let's get it over with, and there you have it.
Shep
all right?
is 75, and what he's doing, he's bringing this wonderful tool to the world. And at some point, some organization is going to say, "We want this.
Yeah.
Where do we sign, and how much do you want?" And that's what all entrepreneurial people try to do. They bring something to the
New.
world that's going to make the world better, and then in the essence, they get a lot of funding, and don't doubt my word, Shep's going to open a nonprofit, a foundation, or something that's going to help people. So he's going to pay that forward in doing other things for other people. Okay.
I mean, you did mention there that a lot of seniors that you know are tech savvy. But having said that, there are also a lot of seniors that are not very tech savvy, and this may make them feel, "Well, I can't do that. I wouldn't know how to do it." I mean, I've got friends that say to me, please don't email me, please don't text me, just pick up the phone and talk to me. And
That's
I'm like,
correct.
I don't have time to do that. You know, it'd be so much easier just to text you. So they don't even want to, you know, do texts or emails.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with people that have that?
It's very common, and especially in anybody, and I won't even pick an age level, but there are just some people that are just resistant or incapable or undesired, have no desire to learn tech.
Correct.
However, they have issues. And within a family, there's always somebody that has one skill set that is relevant. And the beauty of our system is a mother sitting in Florida and an adult daughter living in upstate New York can simultaneously work on the vault to make sure it's getting set up properly.
Oh my goodness.
So we have the ability to bridge time and space. And because you have that ability, which is really, it's all about the digital side of it, because we have that ability, we can help any family to become prepared. This is a system that I call it's preparation for tomorrow, it's preparation for today, and it's able to look back and save what happened yesterday. Because you can tie in your genealogy, you can tie in your family videos, you can tie in those little critical things that are important. You know, we think of a will and we talk about bequest. So you wanted to have that special china cabinet, make sure you give that to your daughter. Well, if that's not written down, and believe me, by the time people pass, a lot of stuff's not written down. It creates anxiety and agita within the family. If they use the Palm Vault system, they can solve so many of those issues ahead of time just by being explicit and by having something written down.
Yeah. What if people say, well, actually, you know, I don't really have any assets. I don't need this.
Mm-hmm.
Do
One of my favorite new subscribers from the very beginning was a retired professor. And she was divorced. The ex is out of the picture entirely. She had 3 children. She had a very, very small asset base. But she had a lifetime of information she wanted to share with the kids and wasn't sure how she was going to do it. So much of what she wrote, because she was a very articulate person and she taught English amongst other things, she had all this information and she wanted to make sure it was passed on, really didn't have a structure to do that. Because let's face it, you walk into your parents' house and they've got closets full of scrapbooks, or they've got, you know, file cabinets full of data.
That's not my parents' house, that's my house.
Well, we're all there. That's how I started,
well, that's,
you know.
For sure.
So what we're trying to do is we're just trying to help smooth the path. And I always tell people at the beginning, you don't have to finish this. You just have to start. Once you start the process of bringing in data, because let's face it, every single piece of paper that's important in your life, you've touched at least once. And why not, instead of just touching it and filing it, why not touch it, and if you have to scan it, or nowadays we get everything digital, we get it sent to us and we're able to put it into the right place. And with the seniors, and this is what Al and I have been talking about since we met, is the idea that when he helps somebody to go into an assisted living home, or whatever the situation may be, that person is changing their lives in so many ways, and the family at a distance is going to worry about them. How do you keep it all interactive? How do you keep it all capable for the family? The Peace of Mind Vault can help people do that.
Yeah. So how do people find the Peace of Mind Vault? How do they find you?
Okay, well, both. All right,
Yes.
Same place.
Same place.
The Peace of Mind Vault we call it the Palm Vault because it's so much easier. So POMVault.com. That's Peter, Oscar, Mary. peaceofmindvault.com. And I'm Shep, S-H-E-P, at POMVault.com. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. I got a great team of people. We care about the subscribers we work with, and we'll help you in any way we can.
Fascinating. Thank you so much for coming in and telling us about it.
Thank you.
I learn something every day from Oasis, and so thank you, Al, for bringing Shep in.
Thanks, Al.
And don't forget,
Thank you,
if you'd like to know any more information, you can always find it on iwannabuzz.com.